Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Elemental. That's Elemental with a 4. Now obviously the 4 is donating the 4 elements you can play as within the game. The game itself, well, Elemental is a indie 2D platformer, and it was fairly recently released on Steam, and I'm here to tell you a bit about it. Elemental is a very simple game, I'll say that outright, but do not let that fool you. Elemental is a very difficult game, especially later on. Most of this difficulty stems from the moving system and how you navigate the world. You don't move in the traditional sense. Movement is tied directly within the elements and you're free to switch between all 4. Each of the 4 elements, air, earth, ice and fire, are allocated to a certain directional movement. For example, every time you switch to air, you jump up a little on the screen. Every time you switch to fire, you shoot towards the right. Switching to earth pushes you down a bit as well as giving you more downward momentum, while swapping to ice simply lets you slide about the place. You can only switch a certain number of times in a row, and that's donated by the circle you can see around the character. As soon as the energy is depleted, the only element you can switch to is ice. The key piece of the puzzle here is that momentum is maintained throughout your elemental switches, so swapping to fire and then ice will make you slide towards the right a lot quicker every time you switch to ice. In addition to this, you can also switch multiple elements at a time, so switch to air multiple times to jump higher every single time. It's a very creative and novel system of movement, and it's what the whole game is based around. All the levels are built around this factor and are built really well to make use of this core piece of gameplay. And don't get me wrong, while this is a core piece of gameplay, the environment does play quite a vital role in changing things up and adding a bit of variety to the game. For example, while in the air elemental form, you can float above lava, float to the surface of a pool of water, or if you're in the rock form, you can weigh yourself down to the bottom of the lake and then switch to air to shoot yourself forward and gain a bit of upward momentum. Air and fire are the 2 vulnerable elements. Touching any part of the environment will kill them. All the fire has the ability to bounce off hot surfaces, while being in ice form while touching a hot surface will cause you to melt and allow you to pass through thin gaps. Rock on the other hand can smash thin walls and can use its downward momentum to bounce on elastic bits of the environment. The game does hold your hand for the first section of the game and sort of very nicely introduces you to the mechanics and the gameplay in the tutorial, and then as you play it sort of gives you hints as what to do and how to go about solving problems. But as you get further in the game, they stop doing this. They don't hold your hand anymore and they let you get on with it. It definitely does have very nice pacing. Coupled with the fairly unique gameplay, you have an incredible soundtrack and a very nice, if a bit grainy, art style. The game is $10 on Steam, and the big question is this worth it? And that would be mostly up to you. From what I read, the game takes anywhere between 4 to 6 hours to beat, and even longer if you're going after the achievements and collectibles and stuff. Time versus price wise, that's completely fine. The game does come with 16 levels, and once you're done with those levels you can play races, and races are essentially just the levels all over again, except for the fact that you're playing against ghosts and you're trying to beat their time, and this can be fairly entertaining. The game is quite fun and quite unique and enjoyable to play. However, controller support isn't all that great. The controller works completely fine within the game since you only need 4 buttons. However, the controller doesn't seem to work in menus, which is really odd. Just keep in mind that the game doesn't officially support controllers. It's not advertised as supporting controllers. I just thought it would be quite a nice addition to the game to allow a bit more freedom on how you play. Anyways guys, that's it from me. I hope I gave you a nice idea what the game's about. The developer has provided me with an extra copy to give away to you guys, so if you're feeling lucky, just open up the description below and have a look on how to enter. Anyway guys, see you around next time.